Welcome to everyone to our latest session. I am Evie, the Disaster DM, or Disaster GM. My pronouns are she, they, or any. I really don't care. I am the game runner for this fine, if disastrous group. Let's go ahead and do some introductions. Let's start with Alina tonight. Today.
Sounds good.
Today. It's daytime.
It's nighttime somewhere. Hey everybody, I'm Elena P. I am playing Kale, and we are both they, them. You can find me online at twitch.tv/wheregeekcomics, or look at my art at alenapete.com.
Lena is also our character artist, so be excited for that. Next in line, we would have Excel.
Hello, everyone. That is me. Sorry. I am Excel. Pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Jax, the chaotic warrior who needs no weapons because he's great. And pronouns are also he, him, and I'm excited to get into this. This is going to be great. Chaos will ensue. Yeah.
All right, and of course, our third player, Maggie.
That's me. Hi, I'm Maggie. I use they, she pronouns. Sybil is a she, her for now. I don't know. You can find me on the internet at Thor Magnarok if you want, and sometimes with Alina on the channel.
Yeah. And then, of course, we are actually joined today by a very special guest that we are very grateful to have at our virtual table. Lev, go ahead and introduce yourself. Where can we find you normally?
Howdy, I'm Lev. My pronouns are they, them. I will be playing Salde Dumar, pronouns they, she. You can find me on Twitter at LegoM2RS, or over at Mayday Roleplay usually, because I'm in charge of our social for some reason.
You do a good job. It's fine. All right. Well, yeah, so we'll hear a little bit more about that and some other projects that may be going on a little bit later. But in the meantime, you will see down in the corner the QR code for Altered Echo Archives raising funds for Black Girls Code. Today is actually going to be the last session that we have that up, as we will be transitioning to another fundraiser soon. BGC, however, is an organization that helps build pathways for young women of color to embrace the tech marketplace as builders and creators, introducing them to skills in computer programming and technology. Check them out online for more information and donate either through the QR code in the corner of the screen or directly through their website. No portion of donations go to Altered Echo Archives, so feel free to send as much as you can or just spread the word. Great organization. In addition, let's go over a little bit of our content warning for the game. We at the Archives would like to remind the audience that this is an adult content rated game with adult language, depictions of violence and gore, possible mentions of loss or trauma, and or similar content. We do our best not to cross each other's lines, but for those listening, you have been warned. Last session, the group, after getting into at least message contact with a friend of Sybil's family, did eventually go to meet one of the actual High Council members of the city-state of Icenbridge. Dean Harper is also the leader and dean of the academy for which Icenbridge, as far as they are aware, was founded. He is a shorter, older gentleman that welcomed them to the meeting mostly by speaking to his not quite niece, Sybil, very curious about the actions and adventure that they have been on. They are attempting to get him to introduce them to another one of the council members as they are trying to reach a particular individual that they have heard about. He's not being particularly cooperative, but he said that he would try, and has dismissed them to go relax and get ready, and we'll hear about it further at dinner. What would you say you guys are doing? And he will go ahead, as was asked behind scenes, provide a couple of clean changes of clothing for those of you who may need it. It's going to take a couple of minutes for them to try and find something that would fit you, Jax.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I request a set of gloves?
Yes, you can request gloves.
Excellent. If I need to, I will bullshit about that I have a unsightly skin condition. I don't want to put anyone off for dinner.
All right. Yes. You would have been sent to one of the various guesting rooms or dorms within the massive, massive side academy that is up on the cliffside of Cliffside in the valley. You've got a couple of hours. Is there anything in particular that you are trying to do? Are you going to plan any of your subject matter beforehand?
As soon as we are in the room, Kale will hold up a finger and then start searching around for any sort of like little spy holes or cracks in the wall that someone might be listening through. So like knock on the wall, listen through it, see if they can hear anyone speaking.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intellect based roll, difficulty task of 5, so 15 or better. Do you have anything that would reduce that difficulty?
Not unless listening helps.
I'll allow it. So yeah, brings it down to a 4, so that would be a 12 or better.
Well, I rolled a 12.
Okay.
Which is why I was like, I hope listening helps.
Yes. All right. So with that, you aren't really able to find a lot of signs of people being nearby enough to hear them, though you do find a couple of hidden spy holes.
Interesting. I will point them out to the group and then listen in the wall and say, don't think there is anyone there right now. Listen, what the dean said is not true. He was lying through his teeth the entire time. They are aware that magic has returned, and they do not want to speak of it.
Maybe not?
Do
you think so?
I very much got that impression.
I mean,
Jax moves over and sits down next to the nearest, whichever one of the spy holes, and just sits next to it, and is half listening to everything that everyone's saying, and half keeping like awareness on seeing if anybody does pop up in one of them.
I imagine there's a scuff through the wall, and you just put your fist through the drywall.
I mean, I would not put it past Jax. He's already punched through a door once. So yeah, I would not put it past him. So go ahead and make an intellect roll for perception, essentially. It's going to be a 4 since you know where you are listening to, so 12 or better.
Oh gosh. That's an 8.
That's an 8.
Yeah.
You don't hear anyone back there, but Kale also had indicated that they didn't hear anyone listening in, so as far as all of you are aware, there is no observer at the moment. You do know that if you stay here overnight, that is something that could eventually be listened at, though.
I'll take up guard by the other keyhole and just kind of keep half an ear out.
Okay. But yeah, so.
Yeah. What were you saying, Sybil? I interrupted you with my movement.
Sybil is just like standing over by like a window staring out and like mentally tracking like how far down this drop is, just like so we're just kind of stuck here. Great, good to know. I didn't say anything. No, you think that he was lying?
Oh no, absolutely.
But is there a chance that maybe he wasn't? Maybe?
I don't think so. I'm very good at discerning what people are thinking.
You are.
comes with practice, but
Okay.
he was nervous, and he got incredibly more nervous when I revealed the name of the former Archmage. So he knows that we know something that we should not know,
Were
and I
we?
think also knows how deep we went in the Undercity.
Is it like illegal to go there or something?
It's not illegal, but it's not done, and definitely that's what they're trying to hide from the populace.
I mean, it's not like we were trespassing.
In
Why
fact,
would
you
they-
were very much allowed to be there.
Yeah. So
Why would they go to such lengths to deny the existence of a thing that's so natural?
Now that is a very good question.
Oh, because they've known for a very long time. Okay, interesting. This changes a lot of theories.
It really does.
I mean,
What I
I'm
don't
still
understand is
for,
how
taking-
they're going to complete this. Like, obviously, with Magic Rising, they won't be able to hide this in the populace for long.
Sure. Okay, so if they're not worried about it existing, they either have a way to get rid of it permanently, or they're planning to use it for their own benefit. That's kind of how it would have to work. So
Get rid of it
Precisely.
permanently. That doesn't make any sense. It's I
well,
mean,
they can attempt to. We know it
Yeah.
went away at one point, so it can be made to go away again in theory.
We also
From-
know that they've hidden the other major proof, citizen of Deepview who was locked up, simply for looking in a way that they cannot explain away.
I mean, from my limited knowledge on things, right? Like, cause I only know stories told by my aunt, but magic is as much a part of the world as the dirt is, or whatever things make up stuff. I don't know what are they called? Molecules? I don't know, but anyway, like it's like it's as embedded in the universe as air is. It'd be like trying to strip air away and then survive afterwards. I don't know. It's like doesn't make sense to me. I feel like you can't get rid of something that's ingrained in everything naturally. Even us, right? Even everyone that exists, it's in them.
I think that's precisely what we have to try to convince them of. And if we fail, then I think we must be ready for them to try and silence us as well.
Hale, at this point, you
They
also
can try.
hear someone approaching down the hallway,
I'll put up a finger.
and then an eventual knock with someone kind of clearing their throat.
Yes, hello?
It's
Maybe you
one
should
of.
handle this one, Sybil.
Oh, me?
So do you open
They
the
like
door, or
you.
do you just say hello through the door?
Crack the door.
Okay. It's one of the various staff of the academy holding just an entire armful of folded clothes.
Great. Thank you so much. Do you know what time we were expected for dinner? Uncle Michelli didn't mention.
1 hour.
Oh, an hour from now. Great. Still an hour from now? Love that. That's fantastic. Time moves really fast here. Take all the stuff and shut the door.
You spent a good portion of the day even just waiting for a message back, if you remember. Like, you guys went to the spa
yeah.
and everything. So yeah, they went to a
The
No, she
spa
just
There was a
lesson.
beach episode.
This would go faster. It was like
Yeah.
a stressful beach episode.
When you turn back around
Yeah.
in the room, you just see Jax like freestand doing one arm handstand push-ups.
Okay.
And he's
Okay.
doing them really fast.
We'll get dressed for
honestly
dinner.
really impressive. No, hold on. How do you do that?
And he lifts the hand that's all on the ground up and then places the other one down so fast. And then he starts doing it on that arm. again fast. He's like, all right, cool. Yeah,
Jax,
got
is
100
this
on
like
each
a
side.
is this like a stress thing, or you've done a lot of handstand push-ups over the last like 24 hours? I'm just sensing kind of a pattern here.
I just haven't had enough time to work out, between going down underneath the, cavern and whatnot, and then coming back up and doing all this. And I haven't had much out of the day to do my regimen. So I try to get it in where I can, What is stress, by the way?
You beat that snake so fast that it wasn't even a warm-up.
No, it's more like a cool down, honestly.
I'm sorry, did you say what is stress?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Really?
You like physical stress? Like I know what that is, when you put your body through stress, that's how you get stronger. So that's working out, right? But what is the stress that you're talking about?
Basically, everything we've been through is stress.
It doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you tired.
Oh, are you stressed?
Constantly.
Yeah. Sybil goes over and just kind of like leans down. I assume you're still upside down during this conversation. Yeah. Just like,
yeah.
So
he's up on one finger.
That's my uncle, who knows my parents, who knows that I haven't been to school in 3 weeks, and he's gonna tell them that. Do you don't think that that's why I'm stressed?
Is it not true?
No, it's true, and that's why I'm stressed.
Oh, are you not supposed to?
Was I not supposed to not go to school? Just having this conversation as you. Yeah, generally when you say that you're going to go to school, you go to school.
Fair.
We're going to have a much longer conversation about stress, because I feel like you do understand what it is. You just don't know the word for it. I refuse to believe that you have never been stressed in your life. Simply, I refuse. That is.
Is it like that feeling you get when you're about to die?
Yes. Except
that's just exciting for me.
Most of the time, it's in a situation in which death is not really a thing that you have to worry about, but it feels like you're dying.
Oh, well, if you're not gonna die, what's the?
Oh, your brain has all ways of tricking you into thinking that you may die, or that this may be the worst thing ever.
Huh.
I
then
would recommend a good chamomile.
So are you making chamomile right now?
I'm going to glance at my teapot and then look pointedly away.
Okay.
But maybe another time.
Speaking of stress.
Yeah.
How do I look? Is everything covered mostly?
You look fine,
Arms?
Yes.
I
think their sleeves are longer than mine.
Hopefully.
No. Yeah. There's a little bit of green. They tug their sleeve down.
Yeah.
I mean, you look more put together than I do. I mean, imagining she did not change. The clothes were mostly for Jackson and Kale. She's like, they were clean. I would rather wear my own clothes.
Right.
Jax only puts on a shirt.
So
whatever they brought them.
Oh, I thought you were just Winnie the Poohing this thing.
No. For Jax, what they were able to find were pants that would have been too small for you anyway.
Cool.
You got some muscle there on them hams, which would not have fit.
You're also a tall boy.
Yeah. You're tall, you got some muscle on them hams, and they mostly have nerdy academic type of things as spares. And the shirt that they brought you is meant to be worn big and kind of fluffy, and it still shows your muscles.
It's a muscle shirt.
Yeah, so...
Good.
So you guys have basically the opportunity within this period of time to not only get changed and, at least for Kale, make yourself all floofed, but if you have a plan or wanted to come up with a plan for what you are going to reveal, now would be the time. Because you will be fetched for dinner soon.
Yeah.
Great.
Jax sits down on the couch and he takes his hair out of like the ponytail he has it in, and he starts like braiding his locks together into string
nice.
twists.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And he's like, "So, shall we fight people or what?"
Last resort.
yes.
Like
Oh,
far,
yes.
far past last resort.
All right, just let me know when, and I'll start punching. You know,
Great. Should we do we need like a word so you don't
just say punch.
just say punch?
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
That's hopefully they don't serve punch.
No. We will call it the beverage.
The beverage.
We are not revealing that you are related to the Archmage, but we have revealed that the Archmage exists and that we found his library.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
doesn't exist, but
Existed.
has an echo.
Okay, Michelli knows that we think that magic exists and that we went into the deeps. We're not going to tell him that my whole family is related to that. That just seems like a bad plan.
Honestly, it feels like a setup, all of this. Honestly, I feel like the moment like we're gonna sit down and eat a little bit, and after like 20 minutes in, there's gonna be like 7 guards that rush in, and they're gonna pull you to the side because they want you to survive because you know you like their princess, right? So like they
That's
move you away,
not quite, but
and then the two of us are stuck in this like circle of guards that we're not really stuck in because I'm here. So like
that's not.
they can try.
Wonder though if we shouldn't go and see what they are doing.
Oh, right now?
No. If they try to take us where they've taken everyone else with magic.
Oh, that's an option. You want to
We're
try
not going to find them otherwise.
So just let ourselves be taken, or they would take.
Maybe.
That's
You're not even
circumstances we'll have to
I
see.
just want you to know this.
That's a pretty serious.
That's what I would do.
You said that you've broken out of jail before, Jax.
Many a time, yeah.
No, you're saying it like this is a good plan. You're saying that
And you
confidently.
can't. I don't think that you can be captured, Sybil.
It would take so long. And I also don't know when it happens. Sometimes I just start facing through things. You can't expect me to do it on command.
Well, look, and you'll be in a high stress situation.
Why are you doing quotes? You're right.
We understand stress now. Yes, good.
You'll be in a high stress situation, so maybe it'll happen then. You know what I mean? But also, I feel like they're not going to take you if anybody's going to take us, right? Like, so what I would do, right? If I had somebody that I cared about, like a daughter or a child of mine or a niece or I'd be like, save them. They have nothing to do with it. And if I was this guy, right, I'd be like, no, yeah, they're fine. Take those two, the ones that we didn't bother to look at when I talked to them like 20 minutes ago. But whatever.
It's possible we may get separated. We should have a place to meet up.
The shop? Or
I feel like that's obvious.
They may know to look for me there.
Okay, so
what's
they
a
won't
place
go
that you
into
know
the
to find,
tunnels,
Sybil?
right?
They won't.
Do you remember the tunnels that I took you through when we went to the school? Underneath to get in, we could meet there?
Near the school, perhaps.
Near the school, just near the school under I have a dorm nearby that I haven't been to in a while, but they would check anywhere. We can try and anticipate everything that they're going to do. We're not going to be right.
No.
I mean, from what you tell me, they seem like they don't like going to the underground, so why not there?
What if we try to meet back in the Archmage's chambers?
Oh, that sounds fun.
That's the place that we at least know that they don't really know where it is.
I can get us there again.
I mean, you could. I don't know that I could.
Do you know that you could get there?
I could probably if I went back in through the councilman's
Ah,
house.
there.
Jack
How
starts
lo-
coughing really
Yeah?
loud.
Yeah.
Pat.
Oh,
Is there someone there?
ooh, the house. The
Yeah?
house that's on the other side of town, that's way far away from here. That we.
What about? Maybe we're overthinking this. What about the park by my house? The large tree at the north end. It's well shaded. There's a lot of cover. I think we could meet there.
I just think that it's very telling that instead of coming up with any kind of a plan, we're discussing our contingency plans for when they inevitably imprison you all.
When they inevitably try to imprison us
Don't
all.
know if you've noticed, but I'm something of a pessimist.
And I'm something of an optimist. And
Sybil
that
walks
optimism
back over
is
to
that
the
I'll get
window.
a chance to fight.
Yeah.
You're not me. You won't make it.
You're not gonna make it either. None of us are. Okay, none of us are.
You don't know what
Hey,
I'm capable of.
Sybil makes direct eye contact with Kale and Jax, back and forth. None of us are leaving through the window. Okay, deal? None of us are leaving through the window.
Deal. I certainly am not jumping out of a window this high up.
Not this window. Yes.
Oh no.
Jax.
Oh no, I'm not jumping out a window with you, Jax.
We're
will
rubbing
not
off on
survive.
Jax.
This
Yeah.
window for sure. Not this one right here. Yeah. not this
Windows, plural, all of them, anywhere in this building.
one. Okay, fine. I won't go through the windows.
I'm not really
Stop smiling. Stop smiling. I know that you mean this in so. So what do we tell them?
We'll have to improvise.
That's the worst possible plan.
I mean, I love it when a plan comes together.
I think that in our situation, honesty is the best policy, which is why I wanted to speak about what we should not tell them.
Yeah.
But we are trying to convince them of the truth that we have seen with our own eyes. And if we start obfuscating things, they're going to know that we are at least not being completely honest with them.
Okay, so
So we tell the truth, but not the whole truth.
yes, so no lying.
So help us.
Oh,
Jax, you have a nat 20 in reserve from Alec redeeming some channel points.
Thank you.
That
What?
totally is not gonna come back to bite any of the opposition later.
Oh God, you're gonna use that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Thank you.
Good.
So let's say that you guys have gotten your plan together, and it's probably a little bit of debate back and forth. Oh shit, everybody's getting some nat 20s.
Oh heck.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we've got one for Jax and Kale and Sybil and Sadai. So
Nice.
you guys all have nat 20s. Thank you, Alec.
I'm
Awesome.
writing that down. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is gonna be
So
great.
you've got
Yeah.
nat 20s in reserve.
We're gonna need them.
Great.
Possibly. But yeah,
Our
so
plan is amazing.
yeah.
We don't have a plan.
So
Wing it.
yeah. So it's basically you spent the hour trying to come up with what you will and will not say. At the end of which, a little earlier than you expected, kind of to surprise you in the middle of planning almost. And you suspect this as being purposeful, Kale, because you're already very suspicious. One of the workers, one of the employees of the academy, do come and knock on the door to escort you to dinner with the dean and his guests.
Guests. Great.
It's a long hallway, walking just like when you were walked to the dean's office. Of course, dog shaking off in the background. And as you enter, it's not like a large formal dining room that you would expect to host a huge party, but it is big enough, and one of the entire walls is those like kind of greenish tinged windows that make up a large portion of the academy. Sitting inside is, of course, Dean Harper at the head of the table. Um, it is a specific chair that those who are observant can tell has been extended a little bit so that he sits high enough.
Booster seat.
Yeah, he's got his little booster seat. Sitting next to
Would be like
him
that sometimes.
is a tanned blonde woman, like lounging across her chair, like one leg up across the arm in a way that you would almost expect Jax to do.
She's Riker sitting.
Yeah, like
Good.
high collar, high stiff collar. She is also wearing gloves, and she is speaking to a third person that is sitting next to her, just kind of casually about their day. Lev, would you like to introduce your character and tell us what they see?
Yes. So Starday is kind of a long, willowy person. They have long dark hair, kind of purpley, loose down their back with two little braids kind of pulling it back on either side. They also wear like a high collared shirt that kind of almost touches their chin and pushes out a little bit. Long sleeved as well, tight around the wrists, but kind of flowing everywhere else. Similarly, flowy, deep purple pants, also tight around the ankles, and some little booties, like what you'd expect a mage to wear, just like little mage booties. They've got several bangles kind of up and down their wrists, and their slightly pointed ears have a bunch of like studs and earrings all up in them. They've got big old glasses over their eyes, and they're kind of slowly like taking notes, like almost like glasses. Keeping minutes.
So, Saldai, you see the double doors to this room open, and you know that the counselor that you work with was mostly dragging you along to a free, well-cooked meal. She doesn't have a lot of patience for Harper, so you know that there's a little bit of animosity between the two. You had not expected to have more people join the three of you. So how would you say the three of you enter, and would you like to describe your characters for our guest?
Who wants to go first?
I think despite not wanting to, Sybil probably will go first, just to be like, no, Jax, you cannot, please, for the love of God, you cannot be the first one into she's trying to put on a brave front, and essentially like the most anxious little like calico critter, like looking like, I don't know, I think I said she was like 5'4". Like she's a small kind of just soft cardiganed person. She has like short curly hair that is like turning white along the hairline. But it's like the white that's like prismatic kind of, so depending on which way you look at it, it turns different colors. And she is like also holding just like a notebook like against her chest as she's like trying really hard to just like walk in a straight line and not make eye contact with anybody. Yeah, that's Sybil.
Good. Kale's probably following behind you, looking very starched and pressed in whatever sort of shirt was provided. They've got their ascot on over top. Gloves, again, a little strange. Little tiny glasses, bright blue hair all over, shaved close on the sides and slicked back as well as they can with just water. And they've got a slightly pinched expression, but they look very, they're trying to appear as though they do this all the time. And they're even shorter than Sybil. They're like 5'0".
Jax is last, I guess. Jax walks in. He stands 6'2". He's got white locked hair that's tied up in 2-strand twists right now, kind of like back along his head. He has, if you notice from his elbows down and his arms, they're blue, which the rest of his skin is a dark brown. But he has, and another thing you notice about him, he has purple eyes. As he walks in, he's very muscular, the tight shirt, and he's got on a purple jacket and black and gray pants with really nice, like, sort of boots on. He walks in with a big grin on his face, actually, but there's an air about him that seems like he's genuinely just excited to be here, but there's slight tinge of him that seems like he's on guard in sort of like protecting the other two that are in front of him.
So as the three of you enter, Harper Michele, stands from his slightly boosted seat, and there's hidden under the table a little footstool stand, so that even when he stands,
He's not under the table.
Yeah, he's like at average person height at the table. And he smiles broadly at you, Sybil. Kale, you're trained in social interactions, correct?
Oh, yes.
From that, without even having to roll, you would be able to identify that it's kind of that cat that ate the canary type of grin.
Suspicion.
Yeah. And Seldite, you would also be able to pick this up, and your boss, just a single blonde eyebrow arches really high, and she does not even bother to unfold herself from the chair, though she is very easily tracking your entrance. Harper smiles at you, Sybil. Sybil, darling, come here. Let me introduce you. You wanted to meet her so badly. I just felt that perhaps it was best to do this over dinner. Keep it casual. And then he turns to you, Seldai, and your boss, and you're kind of used to him not really speaking much to you when you're around. He mostly talks to the boss, and then the boss talks to you to tell him things, because she's trying to force him to talk to you, because it makes her laugh. And he turns to her and goes, this is, of course, the council member, Sabar Jana, that you had been attempting to speak with. Sabar, darling, this is sort of like my niece. She's the daughter of a couple of my advisors that I'm very close to, have been for years. Sybil, she goes to the academy. Smart little cookie. She and her friends wanted to speak with you. Just over dinner, isn't it? Soldai?
Hello, thank you. My name is Soldai Dumar. It's nice to meet all of you.
Pleasure to meet you. I am Kale Orsimisk. I'm a proprietor of a tea shop down near Clearwater.
Oh, I believe I've been there. Beautiful place.
Thank you.
Jax.
Hello.
He's a companion of ours from out of town. We were showing him around this fine city.
It's a wonderful place to explore. Thank you for coming.
It is a nice place, actually. Love the height. It's great.
And after you have introduced yourself, because of course Harper had neglected to introduce you, is when Sabar finally unfolds herself from the chair that she had been lounging across. Long legs. She stands almost as tall as you, Jax. I am Sapar, and this is my wonderful assistant. Apparently,
Great pleasure to meet you.
Apparently, I've been tricked into a meeting here. Normally, I hold these in my office, but a meal is a meal, I suppose. We are actually having dinner, aren't we? And then Harper just kind of nods and gestures for everyone to take their seats. You see the stool wobble a little bit as he sits back down.
Magnificently sit down very tidily.
Can I do something as he sits down?
You go right ahead. You go right ahead.
Yes, do it.
Good.
So, I've got push. Can I just push his chair back a little bit farther than it was originally?
I'm here for it.
Push. Let's
like you
get
already.
down to
Great. You know what's
I'm
fine?
so
Let's
here
fuck
for
with
it.
this guy. We've been here 20 minutes. Let's fuck with this man.
None of us like this man.
All right, so you can actually do that for free since you have 2 intellect edge. So yeah,
Nice.
Nice.
Fancy.
so because it is an object that is meant to be moved easily, and it is within 10, 15-ish feet of you, that is definitely within range. So yeah, how far back are you pushing it?
Just far back enough that he falls off the stool and onto his ass.
Okay.
And I think it's very I think it's pretty well hidden. They kind of make like a flurry with their pants because they're pretty wide, and to the kind of pants that look like a skirt maybe, but then you can tell that they're pants. So they kind of like ruffle their pants as they go to sit down, and as they like bring their arms up is when they do the little push.
Good.
And sit down firmly.
So, of course, as you guys are like arranging yourselves in your seats, you see the chair just kind of clatter a little bit and scoot back, and like he's like also tucks at his pants to sit back down, doesn't even look back as he goes to sit, and then just full on right onto the tailbone with a slight yell as he full on lands on his ass.
Right.
And
you're
that is
right.
when he notices the rat that has been following you and screams like a little girl.
This is not going well. This is
Scott, I told you to stay on my shoulder. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'll get him.
Oh,
And,
oh my.
Scott, get up here.
these are-
And I
these
put
are-
my arm down on the ground.
This is our friend.
Scott just crawls up your arm. It is a giant rat. Like, giant rat. Like,
His name is Scott.
Oh,
Yes,
he's very
the rat king.
sanitary.
He's the king of the rats. Show him respect, please. And I make a point to sit down in the chair in between Kale and Sybil.
mm-hmm.
I think Saldai's gonna put their hand up for whoever like is bringing food out and whatever. Can we please have another play set for the King of the Rats? Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you. That's
Thank
very
you.
considerate.
Yes. See? I told you, Scott. I told you they would like you.
Royalty needs to be given deference, of course.
Exactly.
The concept of his royalty is a bit it's a bit ambiguous at this point.
He's the king.
I
Oh, he
mean,
has high aspirations.
you know, we knew somebody that would have been very fond of you.
Well, I hope
They're the
we
one
do
that
something.
introduced us to King Scott as well. They're very good with animals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shame they could not be here with us this evening.
Well, I hope they're
Um,
Yeah, he took care of the bear that I fought.
the
Oh,
bear.
Uh-huh.
Under the pretext of showing King Scott which forks to use, I am also going to give some advice to a friend, to Jax, of how to do dinner in a fancy way.
Great.
That'll be
Great.
start here,
So-
move to these, use that one for dessert. Elbows off the table. I'm sure you do things differently in the Rat Kingdom. And then I'll give like a little like nudge under the table to Jax. Like, that was for you.
Jax has his like leg up in the
Mhm.
chair. His knees like right here. As he's sort of like leaning back as I just kicked over everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, awesome! I didn't know, but that's cool. Yeah, awesome."
So, Counselor Sabar is like deep throaty chuckle when Harper fell. And he's being like assisted by a couple of the employees of the academy that are helping to reset up the chair. And like one of them goes to get him a cushion since he fell right on his tailbone. And you can also see him like whispering to a couple of them that like clean anything that the rat touched. He is thoroughly distracted by the fact that there is now a rat sitting at the table with you guys. Like full on,
Wow.
like not even including the tail, like this big ol' rat.
We're off to a great start.
This is going amazing.
Very well.
While there's that distraction actually going on, Jack's gonna take the moment to casually look around the room and clock exits and also try to see if there's any like people that are hidden.
Good.
There's predominantly the main entrance that you guys walked through. There is a side door that seems to be the like hallway that the food comes from. Because that's where a couple of the employees have been bringing a couple of things, including after your request, Solda, that like a table and a bowl, really more than a glass for like water and stuff. But they are a little skittish and confused, but are doing what they have been requested to do. Especially in the presence of two of the council members of the entire city-state that rules the city-state in the private dining room of the dean of the academy. So they are
Normal time.
they're obeying. They're obeying. They are doing their job. They're getting what was requested. They're just very, very confused. And those of you who are clocking this do see them kind of whispering to each other as they walk in and out doing these things. So, Jax, you would be able to see that they are talking about all of this kind of whispers privately as they go in and out and fetch things. But there's not really a lot of places to hide because it's meant to be more of opulent presentation as opposed to decorated.
It's a nice room.
So as all of this is getting arranged and Harper the Dean Michele continues to kind of fuss at his seat and just stares very, very bitterly at the rat. And like you can occasionally see him kind of lean back and rub his back a little bit.
He's having a great day.
Okay, he's having a wonderful day. Sabar takes initiative, as Saldai you are used to, and leans just kind of an elbow on the table, completely ignoring everything that Kale had indicated of proper etiquette, rests her chin on it, and goes, "So, apparently, you wanted to speak to me about something that I have been tricked here to, and it looks as if you have as well."
Not necessarily tricked. We were invited and wanted to thank you both so much for meeting with us. We have some news. And Sybil's just like trying to make eye contact with both Kale and Jax simultaneously of like, yeah. So we we heard about the incident. We saw the incident with the tree at the university with our own eyes, and we heard that shortly after someone was taken into custody.
A citizen of Deepview.
We were hoping to meet with them, if that was a possibility.
Or at least to inquire about what charges have been laid against them.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Why exactly do you intend to meet with someone that is supposedly within our, let's say, hosting?
Can you confirm for us that this person did anything other than maybe present themselves a little bit differently than expected?
My mediators and the few gods that happen to exist within the city-state mostly exist to assist with troubles that citizens have. They help them to fix things between themselves so that it is not required of the council to see to every single particular issue and squabble that arises. That's why they exist.
And you have done an excellent job at this. The city is generally very peaceful and a pleasant place to live.
Of course it is, thank you. But if I do have anyone within the collection of those who work under me, surely we would not have done so simply because they look different. The exact incident that you're speaking of, I would not be able to tell you that I know much about. Saldai, you know that that is a blatant lie.
Can I get a sense of that as well?
You can make a roll.
I'm real good at reading people.
You also have a nat 20 on reserve if you want it.
That
so
is
that, yes.
true. I only rolled an 8 on that one, so I don't know if that brings it down enough, even with my training.
With your training, it does not. Saldai, what was that? You raised your hand.
Oh no, sorry, I was leaning against the side of my booth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think Saldai will hear the lie and kind of reposition himself a little bit. Counselor, can you remind me, why was it that that person was asked to join our custody?
Oh, the only people that we really pick up anymore are those who are causing severe public disturbance, typically injuries and damages to the city. You know how the municipality gets.
Of course.
So, if we do have anyone, which I doubt that we do, I wouldn't know of it personally. At the moment, none have been brought towards me. You know that is a blatant lie, and she is looking you right in the eyes.
Dead in the eye.
Do not deny this, because you were with her when this happened. Then it's most likely because they were causing either injuries or destruction.
Of course. Thank you for the reminder of our duties to the city. And I'll kind of like reset myself and look over probably at Kale.
Yes.
And not even it's not even as specific as an eyebrow raise. It's just like a look.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
And my eyes widen very slightly. Evie, what was the guy's name from Deep View who got picked up? I think we kind of,
I don't know that
like
yeah, we kind of Yeah, we gave them a super basic name because I didn't
It was
come
like
up with one.
Brandon or something.
Yeah, like we'll call them Brandon for now.
Let's call him Brandon.
Sure. Why not Brendan?
Yeah.
You know, keep it.
Brendan.
fresh.
Yeah, let Brendan's good.
Yeah, Brendan. Yeah. Now, Lev, as a reminder from our previous chats, this is the person that looked like they were a living statue of crystal. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's not even. Yeah, like I said, like it's not even an eyebrow raise. It's just like a lingering look.
Yes.
And I give you a look back that sort of says like, "Oh, you're not on her side. I thought you were."
Are there napkins on the table?
Oh yes, several fabric napkins.
In front of us, or like specifically, there one in front of me.
There's one at each place setting. There is also a basket of decoratively folded ones for if more are needed.
Jax puts his leg down and reaches over to that basket to grab one with his arms, very like showy, like, and it's like, yeah, because arresting someone because of how they look would be very just terrible, right? And he places it in his lap.
Absolutely not what the city's about in any way.
No, and I can understand if his appearance was frightening. From what I understand of what I've heard from my contacts in Deep View, this young lad, Brandon, was a worker who often went into the deeps, and he ran afoul of something mysterious down there that changed the way that he looked. I believe he took on a rather stony appearance, was greatly frightened by this, and I don't know what became of him after that, but I do know that his family is very worried about him.
What a fearful experience you must have been going through. I'm so sorry to hear that someone you knew was affected so closely.
Yes, thank you.
I can't say that we've seen anyone like him, and again the look comes back. But certainly if we hear of it, I will make sure to find his family.
Thank you very much. It would be a great comfort to them. As I said, they're very worried, and his work brought a lot of much needed income to their household.
Of course, as an agent of safety and mediation within the city state, that is all we can ask for, is that our citizens are safe and well looked after.
Indeed.
And at this point, like, Harper kind of shuffles himself because Sabar, while she did not overtly react to like the bright blue hands reaching for napkins, like Harper, Counselor Michele, kind of sniffed a little bit, like almost derisively. Sabar is watching you, Jax, but it just kind of seems to be a person who knows about fighting, not necessarily sizing you up, but like kind of looking you over and looking a little impressed. While Harper,
got them guns.
Yeah, while Harper kind of leans on the table to take a little bit more pressure off of his tailbone, and goes, Sybil, why were you even down there? You were saying something, like, I would love to hear the rest of your story.
Oh, right, yes. So Jax and Kale and our other friend we heard about the business in the university with the tree. And when we got there, it seemed to go far deeper than just the university itself. And our friend who was with us, they had some understanding of how the deeps worked and suggested that we investigate. And I've been trying to get on an excursion for a couple of years at this point, and I wanted to investigate and see it for myself, and that is the truth.
I'm going to pat you on the shoulder and say, deep breaths, Sybil, deep breaths. I know Kinder's disappearance was very upsetting to you, but Have a deep breath, and you can do this. Advice from a friend.
So, yeah, and you're also reaching around Jax because Jax placed himself
Yeah.
between the two of you so that he could
Yeah.
play guard.
Yeah. I'm actually like probably leaning in front of Jax just to like give you a little pat.
He leans back.
I
to
don't
let
know
it
that I
happen.
could reach all the way around Jax.
Yeah.
My arms are very short.
So
You've had a
she's like,
disappearance of another of your colleagues.
Yes, an old friend of mine who's a veterinarian by trade.
Oh, that's
I met them
terrible.
on
How
the way into the city.
on the way into the city?
Yeah, I'm not from here originally. Yeah. Visiting.
Yes,
Well, yes,
Sort
of
of a
course.
wanderer.
we were
Was your friend
showing
with
Jax
you?
around the city when we saw the disturbance at the university with the trees.
Mm. And is that when your friend went missing?
Oh no, that was much later.
not quite. Yeah.
Well,
And
and I'll
the
turn
rat
to,
is just squeaky, squeak, 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 trying to give its input at this point.
I will listen
you,
like
Scott.
I'm listening to the rat and be like, yes, deep threats as well, dear Scott. I know Kinder was your dearest friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn
Scott
to
takes his
Savar.
loss very hardly. Yeah.
Do we know anything about another missing young person from our city? We are safety and mediation, as you said, so we do have a duty to make sure that these people are found and well.
There's been a few that have gone missing from reports, and of course, some of the guards are keeping an eye out. Would you be able to describe the last time you saw your friend? Maybe it might spark a memory.
We could, yeah. So I was in the deeps, and we were investigating, and then they were gone.
Oh, it's okay, Sybil.
Oh,
If you want me to fill in, I can. I know it was
she's-
deeply upsetting for you.
She's like picking up a napkin and like fake dabbing at her eyes. Like, please, take
It was so dramatic. I'm
you're-
sure it's hard to recall specific things. It's okay, Sybil.
If you're speaking about the ruins of Old City, it is suggested that you not visit there frequently. It's not really a playground. It's very dangerous. Perhaps.
Oh, so you've been.
Do we need to put together a search party? Perhaps they got lost?
I don't think they're lost necessarily. They're
We
just
reason-
kind of not here.
Yeah, we have reason to believe that they are no longer in the deeps, or perhaps even in Isenbridge.
So, you think that they were abducted? That would explain some of the other disappearances. There
They
was
went.
abductions going on.
I think it's likely that this particular friend may have just gone home. She's staring at Kale.
Oh,
Like-
no, perhaps we should clarify. There, as I'm familiar with the deeps, I have experience from my teen years of working in the depths at some considerable depths as well. So I am familiar with the routes around the old city. When we heard of these disturbances happening, it matched up with some rumors I'd been hearing from my friends in Deepview of odd occurrences, strange disappearances, strange things happening down in the depths. And given my experience, going deeper than a lot of those who live down in the tunnels may, I was perhaps a unique choice to lead our expedition down there through the tunnels. Now, when we got down there, we did find that these odd phenomenon, which we are broadly calling magic, grew stronger and more frequent.
Savar laughs and goes, "Magic doesn't exist.
I just looked to Jax.
Sybil puts a hand over Jax's and just like,
There are, of course, mutations. Those happen.
Yeah.
But true magic hasn't existed for eons. It's fine. Nothing
Yeah,
to worry
so-
about. It's simple
Exactly.
superstition, most likely.
Mhm.
Most likely they found a hidden tunnel. Or perhaps an old artifact that we call magic because we don't know how it works. But there's no magic.
we
Jax, what was
hear.
that?
Oh,
What
go.
was that information you were telling me
Mm-hmm.
that your aunt passed on to you?
Oh yeah, magic goes to sleep. Yeah, and it wakes up from time to time. It's a sort of cycle. It's magic. It gets tired, takes a nap, and it comes back later, reawakens.
And it
Doesn't
lives.
ever go away fully.
Where does it live?
It's as ingrained into the nature of the universe as anything that exists in the universe. It is simply a part of everything. These are things I hear.
There's a slight pause before Sabar just starts laughing.
Mhm.
And then she
What my
turns to
mentor
Harper. Dinner and a show.
What my mentor means is what a lovely use of folklore to broaden our understanding of the world.
Saldai,
Is there?
Yes.
Great. We have reason to believe that it is a bit more than folklore, which is why we called for this meeting that you and your counselor were so gracious to attend. We would appreciate it if you would maybe try to see it from our perspective a little bit more than you currently are. She is just like gritting her teeth.
Jax looks at you, Sybil, with like a smile on his face.
Angry little kitten.
Yes. Kitten's got claws.
No.
Yeah, in stories I've told of olden times, ancient times, the past, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, magic has been there. I mean, we all know magic used to exist, right? We all are aware of that, at least, So, I mean, is it really so out of the question for it to come back?
Saldai's hands have been like kind of calmly folded on the table, and slowly they kind of bring them under the table, and you can't see it, but you can kind of see the movement of their forearms as they're starting to wring their fingers a little bit. Of course. Well, and they'll turn to Sabar. Counselor, this is certainly a matter of safety and mediation within the city. If abilities and powers are manifesting along with the mutations, even if it's just a belief among the lower part of the city, shouldn't we take that into consideration? People deserve to feel safe in their home, do they not?
If you believe it to be important to look into, I will trust your instinct, as I have since I hired you. And
Thanks.
bring me back a report. I trust that you will do the job that is best for the city.
I appreciate your faith in my abilities and your hope for the city as a whole. And they'll kind of look over at all three of you and like nod like this is the best we're gonna get.
And I'll give you like an imperceptible nod, like, got it.
So, yeah, dinner after that is a little tense, and there's a little bit of like sniping back and forth between Harper and Sabar. They are very much not of the same faction within the council. And it's little bitter moments back and forth, just tiny comments. Harper subtly insulting Sabar's intelligence, Sabar subtly insulting everything about Harper. Like
Excellent
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Just a normal
Before
family dinner.
Yeah, it's great.
before like Sabar does eventually just get tired of them, pats you, Salda, on the shoulder, and says, "Keep my trust," as she just full on grabs a full bottle of wine and walks out.
Cool
I love
stuff.
this woman and I hate this woman at the same time.
I just this is gonna be great. I just as she leaves,
God.
if there's any point that she turns around, Jax will
Mhm.
say, "Have a good night," and his eyes will glow a little bit.
She will look back. I'll give you that moment. She will look back, and that same single eyebrow arches high, and she nods at you, and then walks away. We will actually also go ahead and do a little bit of a break because that is a great point for that. And we will come back with you guys finishing up your little dinner and potentially it's evening now. So deciding how you and Saldai want to arrange this. But we will be back shortly, and we hope that you are enjoying the game. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. We are back from break now. Had a wonderful little chill session in between. I, once more, am Evie, the Disaster GM storyteller for this particular group. Here with me are my normal 3 players, X playing Jax, Alina playing
There's
Kel,
nothing normal about us.
regular players, standard to the game. X playing Jax, Aline playing Kale, Maggie playing Sybil, and our lovely, wonderful, and treasured guest, Lev, playing Saldai. We will be jumping right back into session here to remind where we were. We had just gotten through the dinner, and Sabar, like halfway through the far too tiny dessert, Sabar was just like, you know what, I'm out, grabbed a bottle of wine, patted Saldai on the shoulder, and was just like, stay faithful to my trust or don't lose my trust. And as she left, just full on taking the wine with her, when she looked back over her shoulder to just kind of assess the room, Jax gave her a look and had the whole glowing eyes thing going on. It is tense, and Harper will gradually excuse himself to go have someone look at his he does not say it like this, but have someone look at his ass that he fell on.
Look at my ass, it hurts. Oh God.
Yes. But yes, so he will
graciously thank him for an excellent dinner.
he will leave the 4 of
hearing
you to that, and then kind of hobble away. So he's like this little 4'8", like 60-ish years old Steve Harvey dude that's like hobbling like this with a bushy mustache and shiny head in the sunlight reflecting off of it as he walks away. Like he may be an ass, but he is a well moisturized person. So he you ain't gonna see
supple.
Yeah, he is supple. It helps to reduce the whole wrinkles effect, but it also makes his head a little bit.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't judge.
I
you
totally
see the
thought you
stage
were gonna
light.
say he may be an ass, but he's a moisturized ass.
I almost did. Yeah.
So ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in his lane, flourishing.
Yeah.
Is he?
I don't think so.
So yeah, he hobbles away, and like you hear him grumble to a couple of the workers to go get one of the clinicians of the academy for him as he like hobbles away, leaving the 4 of you. He did not say goodbye to anyone other than Sybil.
Saldai will aggressively say, "Goodbye, counselor. Thank you so much for a lovely dinner."
He's just let him go at this point. He gets in these psycho moods. Saldai, you're newer, or I haven't seen you.
Yes, I've recently taken up the position. Shall we find somewhere more private to speak? And I think just kind of like looking around at all the...
If you don't mind, we'll stop by my room and I'll collect my things, and then we can leave the counselor's residence.
Yeah.
Of course.
The rat like launches itself across the table directly at you, Salda.
I'll catch it.
Okay. It kind of sniffs at you a little bit, like chews the edge of your shirt just a tiny bit to give it a little bit of a taste, and then crawls over and perches itself on top of your head, looking around.
Oh. Yes, Your Majesty, of course you need a proper vantage point with which to view your kingdom.
How tall is Saldai?
Saldai's probably like 5'6"-ish.
Yeah.
5'7".
Used to probably the length of your head, taller for Jax's shoulder.
Yeah. I'll follow your lead, and then I have a location where we can discuss matters privately.
Excellent. We'll go and collect our stuff and leave as quickly as possible.
So it is easily twilight, and as you remember, Cliffside is legitimately on the side of a cliff. It is the sides of the river valley, so sort of like a narrow canyon that most of the buildings are perched onto or built into. So there are walkways, but are you guys going up, down, or in?
Where is Saldai leaving us?
Yeah.
I Evie, you can tell me whether or not I can have this.
Yeah, just
I
go
like
for
to
it.
think I like to think that Saldai's found like a gazebo on one of the kind of like cliff edges
Mhm.
where the wind kind of whips, not loudly, but enough so that if someone was trying to overhear from a distance, it would be difficult.
Easily.
So I think Saldai kind of leads everyone out, and shows the way to just this like kind of yellowy, older, like yellowy and blue gazebo on the edge of things, and there are benches all around, and they kind of keep this prim posture the entire time until they sit down. They go, "That was bloody awful. What the hell?"
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
actually went better than we expected.
Oh yeah. I was
We
pretty
really
sure.
expected to be thrown in jail tonight, so this is nice.
Yeah, I thought for sure I
This-
was
I'll
going to have
take
to
this.
fight
That was
about
so
at
impressive.
least 10 guards. At
Huh?
least 10. They
You're
need at least 10.
you're overestimating the importance of the counselor.
Us.
So you're new. You haven't worked with Sabar for very long then.
No,
But you don't seem to like I'm sorry, I hope I'm not being too forward with that. You don't seem to like her very much.
well, Councilwoman Sabar is of an opinion that calm and order are the most important things about a society, and truth doesn't always enter into that equation clearly. I don't think she's of a mind to hurt or imprison anyone without due cause, though. What I'm saying is I think she might be swayed to your way of thinking and way of viewing things, but it will take significant evidence and work on all of our parts.
I
At
think
evidence, Sybil is just staring directly at Kale, just like we have.
we do have evidence.
Mm.
I also suspect that it will very shortly become difficult to suppress all of the evidence that will be arising.
I agree.
I myself have not been down to Deep View in many years, and even before our sojourn down there, I had noticed the effects of magic returning on myself. It's one of the reasons I agreed to the expedition.
I understand. I may be in a similar position as yourself.
My eyes flick to your ears, your hair, and kind of flick back. Maybe you'll nod.
Parts of it are harder to hide than others. The issue is there is a fair amount of corruption among the councillors.
No surprise.
No, not really. And they are difficult to root out. There are a handful that are of a similar mind to logical human folk. But it's going to take work to override the corrupted ones, and unsafe in certain aspects for people like us.
Sabar
Jax.
isn't one of the corrupted ones, is she?
No, surprisingly, her attitude is just an attitude. She's not. She likes order, and things that are disorder are an issue to be dealt with quickly rather than effectively at times. It's one of the things I like least about her. But as I said, I do think we can sway her to our views.
Does she trust you enough to imbibe something that may or may not cause effects?
The trust I have question in. The possibility of her ingesting it unknowingly seems more plausible with my specific set of skills.
And what might those be? You specific set of skills you.
All right, to level with 100%, I'm from Deephold. I've
Me as well.
yes, fantastic. A lovely place, surely. I mean,
You do get a lot farther on the surface when you don't sound like you're from Deephold.
exactly. Which is why this accent has been a bit of a boon. I've had a bit of a corruption, as they may call it, myself, and they'll start kind of unbuttoning their super high neck collar, and as it gets down to like just below their collarbones, you can see what look like roots taking the place of their torso and like wrapping through and around all of their body.
I look at that, and then I look at Kale, and then I sit and I go and sit on like the edge of this like cliff if it's close enough to still be within earshot of everybody. And he like dangles his feet off the side as he's like kicking them, and he unbraids his hair and puts it in a half up, half down style. And he goes, "I'm not too fond of espionage."
It does feel quite a bit like lying, doesn't it?
Look, there's something that I understand. He's like looking down. He looks down for a moment and then he looks back at you with his eyes are glowing and he has this like really serious look on his face and he says, "For the most part, when wolves have an injured person in their pack, so to speak, they take care of it. They nurture it back to health. But when there's a member that starts acting a little wild, goes against the will of the pack, they leave him behind."
You understand the predicament then. Act wild, be left behind, or more likely imprisoned. Act hurt, and maybe be included, maybe be imprisoned all the same. Humans are not
Well,
wolves.
There's more to the story. When that wolf gets left behind, if they're strong enough, oftentimes they start a new pack.
I'm not very good with analogies. Are we going to start a new? Is that what we're talking about? Why are we? I don't think that anybody would actually imprison. I'm still kind of up in the air that the Crystal Brandon was actually, not. Maybe he was causing a disturbance. I mean, this is my. I don't think they would do something like that.
But they
Your
have.
faith is admirable.
I-
And a bit misplaced.
I've known Michelli since I was born. He's known my parents. He's seen me and my entire family grow up. I cannot imagine that he or I mean, there are a couple of the council members that maybe I could see them doing this, but him and as a whole doing something like that, actually imprisoning them?
Did you notice how he, or the lack of how he spoke to your companions?
Sure, he is a bit particular, but he's not bad.
What's particular about talking to someone?
Fair.
Those who come from Deep View, their opinions are not valued among more profitable citizens of this good city.
I want to believe you. You both, and Zelda, you seem really lovely, but you... It's hard to explain, but this is all that I know. I want to do all of this, but it's hard to say that I'm... You're talking about overthrowing them? About starting something new? Starting our own wolf pack? Again, analogies, not my strongest suit.
My intention isn't a complete overhaul, if that's what you're afraid of. It's more of a culling of rotted flesh. Cutting away the worst parts of the injury so that the organism itself can live.
Sure. That still involves cutting.
And if we can change the mind of those who are not fully committed to disbelieve in this yet, then perhaps there doesn't have to be any sort of violent overthrow. I'd very much like to avoid that. Perhaps the only thing that Samar and I have in common is that peace and order is preferable to pure chaos in the city. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But I know that if we don't convince them of anything, the people of Deepview will get hurt first and worst because they will be blamed for all of these abnormalities.
Right. More and more people have been having magical mutations all around the city. Some disappear. Only one's been arrested, and I think that's only because he was out publicly. The others, I don't know.
But you know where they're being held?
Would I know where they're being held? Yes, it's rather well guarded, but I know where it is.
That's actually not really a problem for us, I don't think. Just kind of points it at Jax, who's still like feet dangling on the edge.
Because that's fair.
Yeah, you'd probably enjoy it, honestly.
Jax, what is it about the espionage aspect of this that's upsetting you most? Maybe I can ease your mind.
He like puts his hand on his chin. All of it. Hear me out. And he stands up. Still like on the railing, edge.
Yeah. On the railing, yeah.
And he like turns his back to like the drop, and he just kind of puts his arms behind his head, and he goes, it's like he's becoming just more like happy now rather than being serious. And he's just kind of like, actually, I just like a direct approach. It's just me personally. I mean, honestly, if you all are gonna do what you're gonna do, that's totally fine. Just point me at someone to punch when they need to be punched, I guess.
I respect that view so much. But not all of us have your rather impressive physique, and they'll like gesture down at their really like spindly little wizard arms.
Good.
And a one-man army is very impressive, but
No
direction
idea.
helps. That's really all I'm trying to offer is a direction.
It is very appreciated. We've been flailing with this news, this undeniable evidence of our eyes of what's going on, and unsure how to convince any one of them without dragging them into the depths themselves.
Right. And
which obviously we can't drag the whole council down there.
I forgot her name. Oh, Sabar. There we go. I was like, that's my name. Hold on. Sabar will listen to reason. And should we go down and I can find ample evidence of magic being back and not harming anyone, I think she'll be a great asset in finding a way to not lose what we've built, but make it better, build it back stronger. And I'll go over to Sybil.
Actually,
kind of like,
Sybil, I'm going to offer a GM intrusion because of your overeager nature.
Oh no.
So when Saldai mentioned the not harming anyone, you physically and mentally, of course, remember the occurrence and the risk that magic waking back up poses to the various magical devices, including the one that you exploded in that bar.
Yeah.
So the intrusion is that in remembering that, you would feel the need to correct that assumption.
Oh, that it's not dangerous. That it is
not
dangerous.
dangerous.
That it is dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean, we almost died.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
to be
dangerous.
Fair, yeah.
So you would,
yeah.
like, so the assumption that it can be proven to not be dangerous is very incorrect, and you know it. You saw the damage that caused. You saw the things that were trying to quite literally wake up and fight you guys just for being there. So you are remembering that bodily, and feel the need to correct that due to your intellectual nature and the fact that you are over eager to be involved. You can accept the intrusion and express it in whatever way Sybil chooses to express it. And then you and one other player gets an experience point, or you can reject it and the experience points just go away.
I'll take it.
Okay.
We have some of those little gadgets in our bags. And I think when you start talking about how it's not going to hurt anyone, Sybil is already was rifling through bags looking for some of the journals that we had found, and finds one of these little contraptions and is just like, Saldai, I think it is very admirable that you think that all of this isn't going to hurt anyone, but that is not true. Just look. And I think to just get her point across, she's going to basically just put energy into shattering it and trying to trigger something. She's essentially trying to turn it into a bomb itself, even if that's not what it's going to do.
Are you casting Shatter? Or so you're casting Shatter instead of just loading it in?
Yes.
Okay. So one, distribute the spare experience point, because don't forget about that.
Good.
That guy. Y'all gotta catch up. I'm 2 ahead of you.
Oh yeah, Jax. Go for it.
All right, cool. And then 2, that is just an effect that you do. Saldai, you see Sybil's arm briefly start to go transparent as she is holding this out, and it almost starts to fall through her hand, and then she lets go as she's casting Shatter on it. She doesn't say anything for this. It is a disruption effect from her, so she does not have to cast a spell. So it just kind of, as it falls through her hand / away from her hand, it bursts. I would like a speed defense task from everyone.
Can I use divert attack to protect everyone?
Ooh.
Yes,
Oh.
you can.
Cool.
That's good
I
because
don't-
I rolled a 2.
Speed. I'm training. Wait. Am I training speed?
I
Yes,
rolled
I'm
a
training
1.
speed defense
This
task.
is very
God.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right at ground 0.
Yeah.
That is an 18.
Yeah. So
Jax
the
is far away.
divert attacks, you spend 4 speed points for it. You have deflected and dodged it yourself. I will say that you were also able to deflect it from the others since you're expending it for that purpose.
Yep.
So you are deflecting it instead. But yeah, so Sybil is like just kind of not fully see-through, and it's hard to tell at night, but they're very hard to see right now. Like, very hard to see right now. And you saw one of the deflected pieces of this weird device go through them.
See? That's not a thing that I mean, it's not exactly like what happened when we went down, but it's close enough. And
That's a good point. Maybe next time you say something first because
right.
But also, yeah. Sybil has a point.
I see.
There were dangers when we were down there as well.
Naturally.
A large creature attacked us.
Several
Jax
large
was able to
creatures.
defend us.
Several times.
Our friend kinda was transported somewhere else physically in a second by a magical defense system. We don't know where they are or if they're alive.
That's our friend that went home.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
We have been assured by the mind behind the defense system that they are alive, but that they are far away from here, and we have no way of contacting them.
That's
Point
quite
is,
fun.
if not harming anyone is the main key point to getting a cool lady on our side, then I'm pretty sure we've already failed that. You know what I mean?
All right, I take your meaning. But things that have their use are not without their dangers. Water, for instance. We need it to live, we need it to survive, but in an abundance of it, we drown. Same with fire, warmth, cooking, but also burning. There's no thing on this planet or any others that is only good, is only safe. There is always a danger. I don't know how to make these people see that, though. And I wish I had an answer for you.
You are also familiar from being from Deepview, so that artifacts of the bygone mage era, the era of magic, are used as like decorative sculptures and collector's items
They're
and
prestigious.
repurposed for a
That's right.
variety of things all over.
Salde kind of goes in a little more quietly, and then all of that aside, the abilities people might be gaining, neither here nor there. Might be, I say, as it's actually happening to all of us here, so I guess it's not a hypothetical. People need to be aware, because the artifacts that have been found from eras long past are in schools and homes and libraries, and they will become active again. So even if the people are magically inclined, the items will have to be put somewhere safe, quarantined. And the rich are not going to relinquish their hold on their trophies without cause, which is again why we have to find a midpoint. I wish I had more answers for you. That's all I know.
But perhaps you do, though. I'm not very familiar with the makeup of the council. I haven't had a lot of dealings with them before. But you mentioned that there are certain members that have become corrupted.
Yes. I have to scroll back and find all of them. Hold on.
Okay, I have to get my notes out.
Yep.
So, Evie, I remember Michelle's no good.
Yeah. Michelle is one of the ones that on him you and you've actually heard, especially Savar, because Savar and he have a very antagonistic relationship. You've heard her grumbling about needing to find proof of him accepting bribery.
Right.
And
Ooh.
in particular for expelling students after accepting that bribery for no reason.
Right.
The fact that he also deals in several illegal trades, and that is why he has a close relationship with Rendon, despite the fact that they are not part of the same faction.
Rindon's a problem. Carpera's fine, if I remember correctly.
Carpera?
Carpera, C-A-R.
Right.
Yara. Ilion's dirty as the day is long, but that's not surprising. He deals in tithes and taxes. Leona's good still, yeah?
Yeah.
My memory serves right. And Gustal is as well. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. It's just those three. Rindon, Ilion, and I'm sorry to say Harper. He's taken bribes. He's expelled students after taking bribery. Sabar's been trying to catch him for months. I realize this is hard to hear, and I'm sorry to be the one to share it with you.
How many people are in the council?
6? 6.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
So
it's
nearly almost half. Or
Slightly under half, yes.
yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of the
Yes.
town's leaders. Are you sure you don't want to take them out? Because I can do it really quickly. I would not have a problem.
I think an issue with a person of magical means and abilities, especially external markings of them, being the one to take down the corruption, they will be seen as martyrs against a magical force that we haven't seen for eons.
It'll only make the populace more afraid of those with magic.
Exactly.
Which is going to be them pretty
It's
soon.
gonna be
And
fun, when they wake up with it. Yeah.
There's no guarantee that whoever steps into the position isn't equally corrupt, or worse.
All right.
I understand your
I
desire to crack skulls, because honestly, every day at that job makes me want to break some necks. But
it's just way easier to just do it. You know what I mean? No, idea, right? I could be a distraction.
So,
Kale and Sybil, you 100% understand that he's just saying this because he just wants to fight something. Um, I could totally be a distraction. That's like while y'all are doing y'all's thing, I could get their attention somewhere else on me. You know what I mean,
We will
you know?
find something to fight soon, but this is maybe not the time.
Were you guys gonna still try and find out how to get to the captured person? Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
we might have to do a prison break.
There will be several people to fight there. I encourage you not to make your abilities outwardly known if we intend to help and protect the people of the deep, and also those on the surface who will soon find themselves in possession of powers that they didn't know existed. So use them.
See, the only problem with that is I have no I don't have the best control over it. Sometimes it just happens.
I understand.
So and also I'm not one to hold back. But if it's being asked of me, I will promise to try.
That's all we can ask anyone.
But yeah, okay, let's go get this. He jumps down from the edge, and he starts walking, and he's like, let's go get this person out of prison.
Oh, we're going
Maybe
right now.
Maybe just a moment.
Sounds like, yeah, we have a couple more questions. I think Jax, give us.
You have a unique view as being someone adjacent to the council, who is always with a counselor. It sounds like. Are you in contact much with anyone from back home? Is there any way to get a message to you, if we should need so?
I've distanced myself quite a bit from home for the purposes of my mission. But should you need to contact me, there is a tailor, deep, kind of close to the center of town. Older woman, red hair, kind of streaked with white. Her name's Lorena. She's the one I keep in contact with the most. So should you need to get a message to me, that's who to go to. And if I find anything out, I don't want to put her in danger. Maybe I'll find a way to hide information for you here.
I have one last question for you. Aside from, we are going to need to know where they're keeping them, because it sounds like Jax really needs somebody to hit.
Haven't done it in a long time.
I know. I respect it a little bit.
He's doing moves off to the side.
You're like an old man in the park doing Tai Chi.
Except it's very fast and not at all. It's very controlled, but fast.
It's a new and better.
Even sending the occasional shockwave.
Saldai's mentally paying attention to the other two, but telekinetically throwing little rocks at Jax as he goes so he can punch them out of the air.
Yeah, he definitely noticed every time they enter his range. It's sometimes it's a no look hit. He just knocks it away.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Saldai, is Sabar actually trustworthy? If she knew about any of us, is she going to?
Well, it's easy to say that she does know. Jax has made his abilities quite apparent, which is incredibly brave, and I admire it.
She doesn't know what they are, though.
That's
she doesn't know that my eyes glow.
Yes, a very normal thing for people's eyes to do. In all of my experience with her, and I've spent a fair amount of time in her company and may or may not have helped myself to information lying on her desk. By all counts, at least in my experience, I trust her. She's a bit bitchy and has very little patience. But I do not think she is corrupt or cruel for the sake of it.
You said that she's been trying to catch my uncle taking bribes, and I believe that we could, in theory, form a beneficial relationship. I can get her what she wants if she can be an ally for us.
I can begin that work.
It might almost be best to meet with her privately, not under Dean Harper's watchful gaze, and see if we can try to convince her ourselves. If you said that she can be swayed, then I'd rather do this.
Truly believe it's possible.
Through words than going and breaking someone out of prison and starting who knows what chaos in the city.
I wasn't saying as an alternative. I was thinking more concurrent.
You could do both.
This is my middle name. He finishes up and he walks over and he's like, yeah, but honestly, I'd rather not fight her. She's actually pretty cool.
No, not fight her, but
not like actually. It'd be cool to spar. It seemed like she knows a bit. Like when she's looking at me, I was like, are you a... But I didn't want to bring it up. But anyway, it's okay.
No, she's quite impressive. I've seen her spar, and I try to keep my professionalism. But man, she's very attractive and very good at what she does.
I enjoy strong women. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could come to some sort of arrangement. The town, this place needs someone to blame for all of this. And Jax, you seem perfectly willing to...
I'm totally fine to be the villain. Let me be the villain,
please. The villain.
I'm totally here for it. Yeah.
Maybe we could stage a prison break? Sabar might be on board with that if I can get her the information that she wants. That way you still get to fight somebody, but she doesn't get in trouble. And we get our man.
Bargaining chip. Finding evidence of his corruption would do a lot and go a long way in, one, her trust of you, and two, her desire to help. I think coming at it from a perspective of the people above ground and the present danger that their artifacts may present to them and the society as a whole, and then moving forward toward acceptance and understanding and training and that all of that work, which is maddening to say because I only want to be done with this and not have to be scared and hide things or hide people anymore. But these small steps are necessary, I suppose.
Yes.
If all of the problems could be... If problems could be solved with punching, we would have more Jaxes in the world.
No, there's only one of me.
Unfortunately.
But so by stage you mean like fake? Because it's only cool if it's real.
No. We can iron those details out later. I'm actually proposing that Sabar would be in on it, and so she would just kind of like get us a little bit closer. But then you could fight all the guards that you want. They just like maybe there's fewer guards than there would otherwise be. I'm offering all of this. I'm not very good with talking to people, and that man has known me my entire life, and he sees right through me. So I can offer this to her.
How would you find this proof, Sybil?
get him to expel someone? I feel like I could probably get him to do something like that for me.
Sybil, make a intellect
worse.
roll. Difficulty class 3. It has to do with
I
social
believe you.
interactions with your uncle.
I'm really good at that.
I gave you
Yeah.
a social interactions help earlier. I don't know if that still counts.
And you also have a
Not
natural 20 that you
Oh,
haven't used.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
you-
actually just gonna use that because I
You should
The
use
rolled
that.
nat 20?
very
You should
well.
use that.
We're
He
just gonna use that.
was suspicious of your friends when they first
Oh,
started getting to know
wow.
you, and took you aside for a little dinner. Let's say he took you to eat at Grandma Mimi's
Mhm.
at the patisserie, and said that if just let him know if anything goes wrong with them. He can make sure that they disappear from the academy and possibly in general if they ever hurt you. So it was kind of that like protective grandfatherly type of thing, but now hearing about this other stuff that he's done, he might have been like full on absolutely serious.
Yeah, my uncle's a mob boss. It's fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
If they
It's
hurt
cool.
my family,
Super cool and fine.
I'll make sure there's people with the fishes.
I'd have to go back and talk to some of my friends just to make sure that they know what's happening. But
You could get anyone. Unless it's someone that is paying him, you could get anyone. You are sure of it.
great,
Yeah.
great. I can probably get him to do some stuff.
Yeah.
So if we speak to Sabah first,
That seems to be the
she
move.
would then give you a target. You could get them expelled, and that would be a proof enough for her. I'll look to Saldai for that.
I think that might be possible, yes.
All
I-
right.
I
And then
don't think that would be a hard sell.
at the same time, we could speak to her and try to convince her that magic is indeed real. It is not to be stopped. I will say that I went down there rather hoping I could find a cure for the strangeness that was happening. And all of the answers we found down there say not only will it not be stopped, but that there will be more of it and more as time goes on. It'll be harder and harder for them to cover up.
From everything I've seen, it feels like it's growing. As Jax, your aunt, correct? That was what the story
Yeah,
she told.
Chitamba.
Yes. I think that's entirely correct. It seems like that's the way the world is turning.
Intellectual history based, please.
Me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the other two know
Yeah.
this.
We
I
know
don't have-
why.
Any history. So
no.
what's the whatchamacallit?
DC 4, so you're having to hit a 12 or higher. You can attempt to make arguments that would make it easier on you if you would like. Anything
also spend
based off of
intellect.
your, you can spend effort. So because you have an edge of 2, you would only spend 1 intellect point to ease it by 1. You would also be able to say, hey, because of this, I am experienced in history, or because of my character backstory, maybe this is something that I might have been looking into, things like that.
I do think that maybe Saldai might have been looking into this just because of the sudden onset, especially of like the roots growing on their chest, and maybe speaking with like some of the older folk down in the deep.
So that would reduce it by 1. Are you going to spend an intellect point to add effort to it, or?
Effort's real good.
Yeah.
Effort's real good.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
I'm
reduces
gonna
it by
do that.
2,
I'm gonna keep
meaning that you
regularly.
yeah, so that means that you've only got to roll a 6 or higher.
A 6 or higher. Okay.
Yeah, because it reduced it from a 4 to a 2, so that's 2 times 3 equals 6.
What is that dice? It's so hard to read. Hold on. Oh, that's a 3.
Oh,
It's a
no.
3. All right. The name sounds familiar. You don't think you've met anyone named Tatanba before,
It's a
but
good
the
name.
name just seems very familiar to you in some fashion, but not as like a person. It's weird.
I feel like heard that before. I can't remember where or in reference to what. Or who.
Should we tell?
Sybil, a little nudge.
Do we tell them? Jax, do you want to tell them the fun person that your aunt shares a name with?
Oh yeah, you said it was something like the goddess of chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. She never told me she was a god.
Yeah, hasn't been worshipped for like at least widely for a couple centuries, but still prominent enough to be known of.
So she isn't either.
Full disclosure, we're like not fully convinced that it's not just her.
I was wondering about that, especially
Everything
because
else
his
is
name was
weird.
Chaos, so
Jax has had a very interesting upbringing.
clearly, and their
I'll
eyes
tell
are
you
like,
all about it if you
all
want to
the
hear about
stars.
it. I mean, I hold no secrets.
I'm in the future. I would love to hear more.
Yeah, sure. Hit me up whenever. I'll tell you all about it. It's a great
Fantastic.
time.
I always want to learn more about friends. Right, that's spun me a bit.
Yeah, we've had a couple days. No, actually, that was this morning, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was this morning.
Mm-hmm.
3 days ago, I was safe at my tea shop.
She taught me everything I know.
It's been a really busy week.
Wow, that's very impressive. You are clearly an esteemed fighter.
Still a
You
hypothesis.
should
We
see
don't
her.
know.
She's the only person I would actually be scared to fight.
I would.
That's
love-
saying something.
That is saying something.
Wow. Right.
So
Well-
the location of this prison, just so we have that as an option, maybe?
Yes,
we
of course.
should probably speak with Sabar at first as well, before we go punching any guards and causing chaos in the city.
Sure.
There's a chance she may let them out.
That's no fun.
Speaking to Sabar is. I would say speaking to Sabar is probably your first line of. Well, she's probably drunk at this point. She did take a
That
whole bottle
might
of wine.
That could be
work to our
better, actually.
advantage, actually.
Lev, you also have a private message.
Oh.
Oh no!
Ooh.
I love him.
Love a good private message.
Saldai turns around and kills us all.
Yeah. That tracks.
I could go with you as a bit of a go between, a bit of new information versus a familiar face.
And you
Alright.
definitely know where she lives. You've had
Yeah.
to help escort her home while somewhat inebriated before.
Yes, I've taken home more than once. Not in that way. I've escorted her to her domicile and made sure she was safe and cared for before leaving to my separate
We're
domicile.
truly not judging, and that's kind of a thing that happens sometimes. Like, we do.
Also, Jax, if some demonstration is required, I think that your fighting prowess might be able to convince her where mere words would not.
We also have this.
Oh yeah, usually. All right, fine. It will be these muscles will flex in the name of peace.
Excellent.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
He's wanted to use that for so long.
Well, shall we then?
Let's. Before she gets further through that bottle.
Sure.
All right, lead the way.
So you end up having to take a tram down because her apartment is actually about midway up. Unlike a lot of the counselors, she does not keep her home up at the top, away from essentially where all the action is.
Woman of the people.
Yeah. She does have what you guys would normally consider in our world a penthouse apartment, though. It's like an entire floor. with like wall of windows. But you guys are able to take the tram across to the other side again and down by a couple of levels to find her. You were raising your hand, Jax?
Yeah, can I use an action recovery roll?
Yes, you can.
Because we're like,
You guys have like a good 30 minutes
Hour.
of like in between travel time, just
I'll use the
working
10-minute
the tram section. So if you need to do an action recovery roll or the 10-minute, you are more than welcome to do so. If you have spent a lot of points, Love, you may roll a d6 or have one of us roll a d6 for you to regain some points.
I think I've used speed and intellect so far.
Yeah.
I'll probably do a quick one on speed since that's lower.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. And so we just regain whatever is on the roll, or is there like a modification?
You are technically tier 2. Surprise, surprise! They're tier 2.
Ooh, fancy.
So it is 1d6 plus 2.
Oh, great. Then I'm back up to full.
Nice.
I'm jealous.
Oh, I got an XP. I need to mark that down.
I'm good because I don't fight.
But yeah, so you get there. It is not even really an ornate door. It is very ordinary, very plain, not what you would have come to expect, having been in the academy with Harper and in Rendon's little mini mansion that you exited into. Does not look opulent from outside. Inside, it's not necessarily Spartan, but it is simple. And Saldai, you have a key to go in and out, so it's deciding whether or not you want to just bring them in or if you want to knock.
Given that there are 3 new people, I'm not going to just walk in, and I'll knock.
All right. So you hear just kind of a grumble on the other side initially, and then the door flies open. She is not drunk as a skunk, but she is in the equivalent of a bra and pants and looks pissed off that someone has come to the door until she realizes that it's you. Sees the people behind you and then just kind of throws her hand in the air, flips her hair and goes, "Well, come in then." She walks back into the living area.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And they'll kind of like gesture a little awkwardly.
Head in.
Great.
He walks in.
Councilwoman, our friends have some information that might be useful to you and your works to make the city safe and free of corruption.
Of course, since that Hompus miniaturized us, was attempting to entrap us together with whatever it is that he wants. Come over here. Come here.
Yep.
Like
Terribly sorry to have caught you at a bad time.
Grabs you by the shirt. Get me some water. And then just pats you on the chest. And then turns towards the rest of the others. Get me some water. What exactly do you have against apparently your uncle?
It is my understanding that. But can we just like talk like normal people? This whole.
I would much prefer that.
Oh my god, that would be great. My parents are the ones that know how to do the whole political thing. I'm not.
Oh yes, you're the mother with you have the mother with the insanely tight ass.
Well, she's my mom.
Yeah, she is very obviously drunk, not like falling over, but she's very obviously drunk at this point.
Right. Sybil kind of is like trying to get her to like go and sit down. Just like
Yeah. She doesn't fall into it, but she does drape herself again.
great.
Has not put on the shirt yet.
Madam Sapar, I think it's in our best.
No, not madam. No.
Not madam. Sorry.
Council or captain or anything. Not madam.
Captain. Call you captain.
Yeah.
Captain. I think it's in our best interest if we work together. It has been brought to my attention that my uncle has been doing some terrible things, and they were things. He's difficult. That's correct. I don't think he's a bad person. That's a different conversation. I think that we can help each other, and I'm proposing that you help us and we
Something
help
of a trade,
you.
Yes.
I can.
Saldai, my water.
Yes. I'll bring it over. And like, I won't even try to hand it to her. I'll just start pouring it in her mouth. This is not the first time this has had to happen.
Oh,
Just lean your head back.
do you take tea? I have a tea that helps sober one up.
No, I just stop. I just like making her help.
You're really good at talking and also drinking water at the same time.
That's what she was like. Stop. I stopped. Like some poured on her accidentally before she stopped Saldai. But I like making her help. She's.
I like glance at Zelda and I give like a I'm sorry sort of look.
Yeah. And then they just kind of wink up at you very sloppily, but it's like a
double
type of thing. They're very pretty.
As are you, Counselor.
Here, sit. And then she like pats one of her knees. Sit. Or sit elsewhere. This is why you're not allowed to stay for very long.
We should get right to it. She's getting tired.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can get you Michelli. I can help you expose him. We need something in return. Do we?
Here's the thing.
Yes, please.
Here's the thing. We know that within the city, all of the artifacts that have been collected from Deepview over the centuries are going to come back to life. Most of them are benign, but some of them will have unexpected magical consequences which could be dangerous to those who own them, and it is only going to get worse as time goes on. Now, if a properly informed citizenry is aware of this, the artifacts can be taken care of. Precautions can be taken so they do not harm anyone, and order can be kept in the city. But if they are not informed, who knows what dangers the citizenry can find themselves in, especially those who are rich enough to have afforded these prized artifacts and to store them in their homes.
Are there any in this home?
Magic is a bad word. You're not supposed to know about it.
No, we're not, but we do.
Naughty.
I thought magic was known through everywhere. I thought it was like a part of the history.
There is nothing anyone can do to stop it, so it's going to be talked about a lot very shortly.
Your muscles are very pleasant, but...
Thank you. I worked hard on them.
It's a bad word. You're not supposed to know about it. It's very naughty.
I'm not from here, so the rules don't apply. But anyway...
But it does exist.
Fine, yes it does. And someone was negatively affected and threw a fit, destroyed an entire wall, sent 2 people into Medic Bay, and is being held so that they would calm the fuck down, but now they can't speak. So that is not something that I can personally help you with at the moment. Mostly because I am pissed. Alcohol.
Would you be willing to release him into the care of his family? We would see him back to Deepview, into the care of his family, and he would not cause chaos anymore here on the surface.
That's would. So, do you want me to mobilize the various mediators and whatnot to inform the masses against the council's wishes? It's being brought up every fucking meeting at the moment. Or do you want the person back? Because I can really only do one, and the the mobilization thing requires me to agree while I'm sober.
Yeah. Right now, it might be sufficient if he was simply released into our care. But eventually, the city council is going to have to understand that magic is not to be stopped, like a great floodwater. It's only going to trickle harder and harder till it washes the city and wakes up all of the things that have been long sleeping.
She swings her head heavily towards you, Saldai. And this is what you want?
Yes, it's... The people are going to be afraid as things come back to life. And fear is a much more dangerous thing to the masses if they don't know what's happening. They will still be afraid if magic comes back, but if they know what it is and have a name for it and know how to manage it, things will be much less damaging in the long run.
You're lucky that you're very pretty. And she
Yes,
pats
thank
you on the cheek and goes, fine, they can have their crystal person. Help me to bed. Don't steal anything.
Do you have a writ before you go to bed that we can take to the prison? Maybe a sign off?
I can write it out. If you just sign at the bottom, I'll write it.
Well,
Trust me not to break your trust.
I'm not supposed to let him out. So we will figure out how to get him out with the least injuries in the morning. They can sleep on the couches if they'd like. But it is late. I am very drunk. And unless I'm getting laid, I'm going to sleep. So she just, stumbles away.
I'm gonna,
That's fair,
follow her.
Spotter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's a fair reason to go to sleep.
Huh.
I mean, I could just go. I could not hurt anybody because they'd be bruised, but
Then
it wouldn't be.
Then we give the city reason to fear us.
We'll just wait until the morning. I'm sure we can
We need
sort
to
it
sleep
out.
anyway.
As long as she remembers that we're here and doesn't have us just immediately arrested for being in her living room, we should be fine.
I'll write, as I'm going up the stairs with her,
Leave a
I'll
note.
write a note. I'll make sure she knows.
You would
Don't
know
worry.
that she doesn't seem to have drunk person blackout syndrome.
So she should remember.
So she remembers her shame each time.
Oh, good.
And one of the reasons why she
Really?
likes you and you earned her trust very quickly is that you have been very discreet with her alcoholism, essentially,
Indiscretions.
and behavior while she is inebriated. And
Good.
the entire rant that she goes on, which is how you get some of your information. Yeah.
Do love that the city guard is in charge
Yeah.
of a hot mess.
Yeah.
A
Damn.
hot mess.
Yeah. But yeah, so she will remember what she agreed to, how pleasant she'll be about it, since she, as described, is kind of a bitch. But she'll remember what she agreed to and what you offer, at least according to Sildai. But that does sound like a good place to leave it for the night, since we've been going for a couple of hours. So
Oh,
we will.
We
Yeah.
didn't get
touch-
arrested for treason.
He did
No,
not get
and-
arrested for
Good job,
treason
gang.
this time.
We
Not
didn't
yet.
start
Damn
a
it.
riot.
It's still a risk. It is still a
Jackson's
risk.
like, "Fuck."
Especially, yeah, it is still a risk, especially depending on how you choose to proceed now that you know like half of the council is
Yep.
just
Corrupt.
as shit.
Full-on corrupt.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yes.
But yeah, so it is definitely still a possibility. But yeah, we will pick up next time with the hungover council member of safety and mediation within the city-state. When we return. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you with us,
Yes,
Lev.
thank
You are
you.
a great
Thank you for
player.
letting me
Loved
hang and play
everything
with
that
these
you added
crazy
in.
people.
So yeah.
Kayla was a big fan of Saldai. I was like, you fucking get it. I'm sorry you have to deal with this.
No, I feel like we've like hit a very nice.
Like, yes,
Yes, we get it.
I understand you. You understand me. We got this.
Everything's
Th-
good.
Listen,
Are you
this is my
are you
people.
also a tree dragon?
A what?
Free
Could
dragon.
be.
I do not doubt that Jax asks that before
Yeah,
you
at
guys
some
go to
point.
sleep.
Probably when Kale falls asleep first.
Zelda, wake up.
It's like,
We gotta
are
talk.
you a tree dragon too?
What? A tree dragon. What? Who's
Kale's
a
hand is
tree
like
dragon?
flopped outside of their blanket, so you could like take off their glove if you wanted.
I wouldn't. I
Just
wouldn't.
like whip.
Is Kale a tree dragon?
Yeah, I turned into a tree dragon one time.
Oh, that's fucking.
I also had a
brilliant.
vision. I also had a vision of like a bunch of Kales in tree dragon form. But that's a whole nother.
That's
a
so
whole
much
nother thing.
cooler than being covered in roots. What the
Guys,
hell?
it's like 4 a.m.
Just wait till you see what I can do. I haven't even told you
Guys.
what I can. Oh, sorry.
Just
It's
magic
lightning.
sleepover.
Yeah.
Put a pillow over my head.
I feel like Jackson Saldice like stay up all night like talking about like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this.
He shows you Shock where his arms are just covered in electricity that's purple.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh god, yes. So definitely a fun
Good.
little friend for the group to have made.
Sleepover.
Sleepover. Gossip
We're gonna have a
Sash.
magic party. and a
Gossip
sleepover.
Sash. Yeah.
That's what really this game is about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Having magic
Sleepover
Yes.
Fred.
Hell
You're
yes.
not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So anyway, Lev, where can we normally find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LegoM2RS, or if you want to see more games being played, I
Yes,
play over on
please,
Mayday
please, please.
Roleplay all the time. We're on a little bit of a
Yeah.
hiatus right now because we're doing a lot of things behind the scenes, but Mayday Roleplay is on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Sort of. I do my best with Instagram.
Didn't you
and
just
I'm-
run some games?
I just ran
Yes.
Tales from the Loop, 4 episodes, 3 episodes. I can't remember how many episodes I did. I think it was 4, with some wonderful guests and some Mayday players. So that's up all of our stuff is up on our YouTube page. So all of like a backlog is there and available. And I'm also in a video game, which is cool. I'm a voice actor,
Ooh.
so I'm in a video game
Cool.
that's on Steam. So if you want to hear me
Rad.
be a really shitty, like 2 really shitty sisters, play Annie and the AI.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
AI?
Annie and the AI.
Annie
It's
and the
a,
AI.
a puzzle game. I haven't played it yet, but I'm excited.
The AI. Ankh, if you are still in chat, can you drop a link to that? That would be appreciated.
I didn't
And
know they were in chat.
yeah, Ankh dropped into chat a little bit.
Yay.
But yeah, so if you are in chat, would appreciate a link, since I'm pretty sure that account is a mod and able to drop links in. Awesome. But yeah, so super, super cool. Everybody go check those things out. Mayday Roleplay. Love love the group. That's where I first saw Lev playing, and it's just always amazing, amazing gameplay. So if you are not already following them, go follow them. Also, check out the game. It's supposed to be phenomenal. Many suggestions and many recommendations from a lot of people. So very, very cool.
Thank you
But
guys for
yeah.
having me. It was so fun to play with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
been
Thank you for
great.
coming,
I'm
Maggie.
I'm so grateful that you were willing to give it a shot with us. Loved it.
It was a
Loved it.
blast. I had no idea about Cypher, and I was so excited to try something new. So thanks for your patience with me in the learning
Right.
curve.
It's okay. It's
No
okay. It's
worries.
okay. And we didn't get into any of the complex stuff, but yeah, no, like
Yeah.
always happy to like give a general overview of it or do little private games too. So we'll have to try again.
Yes.
Cypher's
Yeah.
so great for an actual play because it's like streamlined.
It's so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I know that we also have games going on for a couple of our other players. Excel, why don't you go ahead and reintroduce yourself and tell us where else we can find your stuff?
Yo, I'm Extel. You can find me at Extra the King on the social medias. Follow me on TikTok, it's popping right now. Just like one video, but it's popping. You can also find me on Take Your Roll, where I storytell a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle that we call Blood Tax. And it is it is a good time. I'm not gonna spoil the last session, but it was quite wild, if I do say so myself. But yeah, you check me out there. And other Take Your Old games that have happened or will happen in the future, you can also find. But other than anything else, you'll find me on my Twitter tweeting about it. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. It's been a great game the couple of times that I have been able to jump into it. So that's very awesome. Don't forget that you can also hire Excel as a GM. So go check that
There's
out.
that too.
Go
Yeah.
check that out.
If you want me to run Vampire or anything else for you,
Yeah.
I'm there.
Very cool. All right. Let's also go to Alina. Alina, how you doing? Alina's
Hey.
also our character artist, so very cool artist.
Hey. Thank you. I'm Alina Pete. You can find me online at Alina Pete on most things. I just got a Blue Sky, so I'm on there now.
Nice.
Alina Pete Blue Sky Social, I think. And
Nice.
yeah, my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/WhereGeekComics. There you can check out our game Trash Heroes, which just happened this past Friday. We are a bunch of dumb adventurers who literally climbed out of a trash heap and are having trashy adventures. It's really goofy. We make a ton of bad jokes. It's very fun. That's every other Saturday or Friday. Friday. I remember my game. It's fine.
Very cool. So yeah, very cool. You might also catch Alina and We're Geek Comics at the occasional convention. So if you see them, go ahead and stop by.
Next big one, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Big one.
One of my other players from a different game may also be there, so I'm gonna see if I can get you guys to meet up and complain about me.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so last but certainly not least, Maggie.
That's me. What's up? This is currently my only game, but if I decide that the summer that I make a cross-country move is the summer to finally run a summer camp mini-series, you can figure that out on Twitter, because I'm veering towards yes, which is such a problem. And it shouldn't be a thing.
That's a choice.
It's a bad one, but we'll see. Find me on Twitter at Thor Magnarok if you want to. I'm on TikTok also, but not at that. So if you find me, it's a challenge. Good luck.
Yeah. It's a Where's Waldo. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, so love all my players. They're all great. I am Evie, the Disaster GM. I am one of the directors here at Alter Deco Archives. I am also the DM of the possibly permanent or at least prolonged hiatus, D and Disaster Story. It is a podcast of a 5e-ish game of chaotic idiots that got entrapped into adventuring on an island. But yeah, so it's where I got my name. All my games are a little chaotic, a little disastrous. I deserve it. I'm that type of player too. But yeah, so keep an eye on all the various socials for everyone's very, very fun things that they are doing. If you are watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow so that you can get going live notifications. If you are watching on YouTube and you've made it through all of this as well, don't forget to like and subscribe. We game every other Sunday here on twitch.tv/AlterEcho Archives. Thank you very much for tuning in, and everyone have a wonderful night.
Bye.